this computer. All right, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Britta Dimmler. This is Infuse, and we are in week 2 of the 5 pillars. And we are going to be talking, last week we talked about sharing, and this week we are all about following up. So let me get my screen shared. Whoops. And here we go. Maybe. Oops, wrong button. Uh-oh. Hold on, sorry. Let's start over. I even practiced this before.
You're doing good. We could see it, Britta.
Okay, but I shared the wrong thing. So
oh, okay.
Or I hit the wrong button. I don't know. I don't know what I did. Okay, whoops, that still isn't it. All right, but we'll just, I don't have my notes now.
That was my issue.
Okay, let me enter full screen. Oh, maybe this will work. No. Oh, no, that didn't work at all. Okay, hold on. All right, Skylar, you might have to do the talk after all. I'll just hit the buttons because I don't even think it'll let me hit the buttons now. Let's see. Oops, there we go. Okay, so we are doing, what have I done? All right, 5 pillars follow-up. That's what we're going to do tonight. So we're going to talk about the 5 pillars, action items, and check-in. We're going to talk about what follow-up is and why we need to do it, how to do it, and then teaching others to follow up, and then of course our action steps. Okay, so hopefully if you have the book, and maybe you've just glanced in the book a little bit, you know that there are 5 pillars of this. So it's sharing. You know, we have to tell people about our products before we can do anything. Okay, if we keep it all to ourselves, we are not building a business. We're not brand partners. We're not going to make commission. We're just benefiting by using the products, which is awesome. But you are here tonight to expand that a little bit and to share. So tonight we're going to talk about follow-up. Next week will be educate, which means like educating the people that we've shared with and followed up, and how to help them learn about the products so they feel comfortable using them, as well as sharing with other people. And then serving, and again, that's more to help them serving their needs and really offering the best customer service, and then building a business. And Skylar, that's probably all I've got after this. So, okay, action item check-in. So how did you implement what we learned about sharing last week? And your action item was to share with someone in a new way. And ideally you did it last Tuesday, because we did say tomorrow. So if you always use social media, then meet with someone in person, and or mix it up somehow. So we would love to have 2 or 3 of you go ahead and unmute, and actually, I'm going to stop the share quick so we can see your face, and we wanted you to tell us what you did. So go ahead. Who has a story? Go ahead and unmute if you have a story.
I have a really small one.
All right.
I got a call from a friend who had COVID.
Oh.
I mean, the virus. And but her daughter has a lot of respiratory issues, but didn't have it. And I told her about Ninja helping people with some respiratory. And so she's looking into starting using it. I sent her some samples, and gonna mix it in water for the child. And I think we may get somewhere here.
Yay. Good job, Donna. One more story. Who else wants to unmute themselves?
I sent my that text or a text, whatever, about Infuse, or no, not about the Infuse, about the oils underground to all my team. And I actually had one of them come back and ask, what we all talked about with hormones, because she goes, I missed it. She goes, I would love to do that more. So we haven't met yet, but we're going to meet and start talking about some hormone oils and go from there.
Awesome. One more person.
I shared bundles this week. I hadn't done that yet. And so I sent bundles to people after having conversations with them.
Fantastic. So what kind of bundles did you send?
I did a hormone bundle. So I called it for the ladies. And then I did an immunity bundle for another gal I had been talking with. So,
Fantastic. And
Yeah.
when did you send those out? Have you gotten any follow-up or feedback from them?
so let's see. The one conversation was on Saturday. And so I was trying today, or I was hoping to do it today, but I didn't get it done. So tomorrow I plan to just kind of follow up back around and continue that conversation, see if they've had time to check it out.
Excellent. Well, tonight will be just in time for you to really benefit and do well with that then. So yay for that. All right, let me flip back over. I think it's this one. Oops, desktop 2. All right, we're going to share my screen again. Try this again. Fingers crossed. There we go. Okay. So did that one. All right. So what is follow-up? Follow-up is perhaps the single most important action that will grow your business. Okay. And let me say that again. It's probably the most important action that will grow your business. There are 3 groups that you need to focus your follow-up energy on. So people who have expressed interest, people who have bought a kit or a product. Okay. Since we don't have to sign up with kits anymore, it's any product. And it's, when they join with us and they are willing to connect with us in that way, then it's our job to help them educate, right? And to help them use their products. And then, sorry, my light keeps going out. Business builders and leaders on your team is the 3rd group, because we have to keep educating each other and encouraging each other to continue to share. And then pretty much anyone else, right? We don't want to necessarily spend our attention and our focus on everybody outside of those though, because if we're very specific with how we use our time and we're following up with people who have expressed interest, who have bought a product, who are wanting to share, that is going to be the best use of your time. And really it's going to give you the best return on your time as well. So for potential members, we recommend immediate follow-up. Okay, so when you meet somebody at the store, or you meet them at coffee, or it's a new coworker, or new person at church, wherever you're meeting people, get their phone number or email and send them a courtesy note right away, just saying how happy you were to meet them and talk about their health and wellness. In this note, make sure they have different ways for them to get back to you. So you could share your phone number, your email, a Facebook name, whatever, right? So even especially if you just meet somebody, sometimes you can say, hey, I'm going to find you right now on Facebook, right? And if you do it right away, then they're going to expect to hear from you. And so it's not going to be that weirdness. If you don't, let's say you sent them a text and you don't hear back from them, within 24 hours, then use the 3, 10, 30 timing of days for follow-up. So you send them a reminder in 3 days. If they still don't respond, maybe you try a different way to connect with them. So that's why it's important to have different ways, their phone number for a text, maybe know their Facebook name. So you can try that way. And then the 3rd time, you might want to just pick up the phone and call them. So at 3 days, 10 days, and 30 days. Remember that most people in today's world need multiple touches to take action. And this is really a vital part of our job. So always remind them that the contact is about them, not about you or selling the oils. We don't stalk people, right? It's just customer service. Hey, haven't heard from you. I know you were interested in some information. Were you able to find some on your own? That would be a follow-up. Right? It's not, hey, you haven't responded to me yet. What's the problem? It's finding out where they're at. Hey, have you been really busy? Or, hey, I just wanted to say hi and see how your week's been. That's a follow-up, right? Especially at maybe the 10 and the 30 days is just to reestablish and reopen the conversation and see if they will re-engage with you. For people who get started Maybe they've tried bought a few products. Find out how they like to be connected with and use that method, because many people prefer, maybe texting to email, or are more responsive on Facebook Messenger or Marco Polo. So try to set up a live open the kit meeting, and it might be open your box, right? So if they didn't get the starter kit, maybe you just set that up when they're purchasing their products. Hey, can I call you in 10 days? And let's set up a time right now so that when you get the products, first of all, I want to make sure you get them, because we are a little bit delayed right now, right? And so I want to make sure that you get the products. There's no problem with that. And that it actually, that you have all your questions answered, and you know how to use them, and that I can just remind you of whatever is needed. So don't be afraid to do that right away, and to just set that up with them so that they're expecting it. It's going to be a lot easier than feeling like, oh, I have to bug them again. Okay. Follow up is not bugging them. Follow up is customer service. So I want to make sure that you guys remember that. All right. Why it's not going to the next slide. Here we go. So why follow up? All right. Most people, 48% of people never follow up with a prospect. And I will say, raise your hand. Skylar will see your hands. Raise your hand if you have told somebody about the products and never followed up. And I just want to go, oh, right? Because especially if they've been really excited and life happens maybe, or you're like, oh, I just don't know what to say. We're going to talk about that tonight. 25% of people make a second contact and stop. 12% of people make 3 contacts and stop. Only 10% of people make 4 or more contacts. You guys, I've heard stats that it takes 7 contacts for somebody to get started. Okay, so if we're stopping at 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5 or 6, they'll get started, but they're going to get started with somebody else, because that other person may be that 5th, 6th, or 7th contact, and they're there when they're ready. Okay, so why follow up? Oh, this is just what I said. 2% of sales are made on the first contact. 3% of sales are made on the second contact. 5% are made on the third contact. 10% of sales, 4th contact. And it might not be, hey, did you try the oils? Did you try the oils? Did you try the oils? It's, hey, how's your week going? I've been thinking about you. Hey, I've got a sore throat tonight, so I'm using Ningxia. I'm drinking extra Ningxia, whatever, right? 80% of sales are made on the 5th through the 12th contact. And I want you to really think about that, because that is huge. And we miss out on so many. So, all right, how do we follow up? And there are several categories of people you want to connect with, and different strategies for each. So to be completely direct, our business is all about relationships, and we do want to do relationships. Follow-up is the key to deeper relationships, trust, and influence. You need to intentionally build relationships with several types of people. So the prospects, people that you've shared with who have yet or who have indicated interest in the past, but haven't yet bought a kit. Okay. And oftentimes in our heads, those are the people that we talk ourselves out of following up with, because, oh, I don't want to bother them. I don't want them to think I'm just out to, for their money, or for them to buy something. So how you say things, how you word things is going to be key in that. And I'm going to tell you, we have to start right here. We have to start with our own thinking and the stories that we're telling ourselves in our heads before we can really reach out to other people. So we want to reach out to prospects. We want to follow up with customers. Those might be retail customers that haven't unlocked the wholesale account. Okay, so if you can run a report in your virtual office, and you can run it just for customers, right? You can run it for any customer. And then I think we can still run reports on retail. So people who haven't unlocked the wholesale discount, and maybe we just want to follow up and say, hey, I see that you're paying retail. Did you know that you can get, the same products at 24% savings? Let me know if you're interested. Okay, I don't have to type out all the information on how they do that, but just, hey, did you realize you're paying retail? Let me know if you want to pay wholesale. I'd love to help you get started. And then members, we follow up with members. Those are the people who have bought a kit, or the product users, they bought whatever products. And this includes our about to go inactives and our inactive members. Marilyn, can you mute yourself for us? So these might also be people without an active leader and you're personally enrolled. And then we also will follow up with our business builders and leaders who are on our team, and we're going to get into those a little bit later. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time with them. So to quote Shakespeare, all is well that ends well, except in sales where you need exceptional follow-up, which is so true, right? Because if we don't, again, if we don't follow up with them, someone will, and that's when, you know, they just go, they lose interest or they find other things to help with them. Okay. Oh, and there's always everybody else. So some of you are like, but what about the other people, right? And so for those other people that may have at some point, you know, express interest, but they're not communicating with you anymore, you can still follow up with them in the form of a drip marketing system. You know, so maybe they're on your email campaigns and you just continue to send them out. I have converted a few people over the years with that. You know, they've gotten emails from me for 20 years, seemed like 20 years, maybe, you know, 2 or 3 years. Those people that follow you on your Instagram, right? And they give you hearts every once in a while or whatever. Keep putting the information out there, and maybe you try to connect with them through your DMs and send them a message. You can also send a note or a card once a quarter or once a year would be other suggestions. All right, so here's the big thing. How do we follow up? We have to ask people for their preferred way of communicating, okay? First of all, we have to collect their data. So you have to get their contact information. And again, don't feel bad about saying, hey, let me just put you in my phone right now. That way I don't lose the Post-it notes or the business cards or, you know, the piece of paper. Sometimes it's a lot easier just to pull them up again on your phone and send them the message than it is to try to find that paper if your desk is anything like mine. You can also get, you know, whatever your data collection method that you're most comfortable with and the one that you're most likely to use consistently, that's what you need to do. Some people journal it, put it on your calendar, put it on a spreadsheet, whatever works for you, okay, is the answer to that.
Hey, Britta, can I interject one quick thing?
Absolutely.
When you ask permission, like asking a question of the prospect, like what is their favorite way of communication? When they tell you, it's as though they are giving you permission to communicate with them in that way. So I feel like one of the biggest things is to get a fluid back and forth going, kind of like ping pong. And when you engage them in the conversation, they're actively investing in that interaction. So when you ask them, you know, do you prefer email or text? When they tell you text, you're like, awesome. Do you know, is it okay if I text you in the morning, or would you rather communicate at night? And when they say at night, they're literally saying, I'm expecting you to contact me by text in the evening. And so then I love it because it takes any weirdness out of the equation. And it's like, now I have a professional responsibility to do what I say I was going to do. And it no longer feels like I'm chasing them. I'm just following through. So I love getting that permission. Sorry, carry on.
No, that's awesome. Thank you. Okay. So overcoming our fears, because I don't, you know, how many of you would say, I don't know what to tell them. I don't know them at all. I don't know what to say. You know, maybe you're going through this whole thing. I couldn't possibly send them a note this soon. It's like, I just met them. You want me to talk to them again? I can't call them. I'll just send them an email or a text. You guys, I do that all the time. It's like, oh, I really do not like talking on the phone. I'm better than my kids, but it is not my preferred method. But if we overcome our fears and do it anyways, it will get better. And oftentimes, you know, people, if they don't like talking on the phone, they won't talk to you for very long. They'll just say everything's fine or whatever, but and you can go, phew, did my follow-up and it's done, right? And so I can check that off. But it lets them, even if the conversation is really short or you leave a message, it lets them know that you were thinking about them. It lets them know that you care about them. It lets them know that they can contact you in the future and it won't be, you know, a bad thing or they don't have to feel bad about asking you questions. So in spite of what we think, people want to hear from us. If they don't, they'll tell us. And when they don't tell you, keep on connecting with them. Okay. So I love Project Broadcast in a way because it lets them opt out, right? At any time. And I've had to learn over the years that if they say stop, if that's not about me, it just means that I'm not serving their needs right now. Okay. And that's okay. So don't get hung up on that. When we do contact people, be interesting, be memorable. If you can tell them a joke or be real, be genuine, and make sure that it's about them, not about you. Okay. So, and Eric Walton recommends that we use the phone whenever possible, but you can leave a voice message or a voice text so they hear your voice and invite them to call you back. Because I think that a lot of times, you guys, it's a voice message. People don't read, you can't read into, how they write something. And they want to hear your voice and hear that you care. Okay. I just learned a tip, and if you haven't heard it before, we can maybe Skyla and I can teach you after this, or about how to voice message on Project Broadcast. So it actually rings to their phone quickly and then puts it into a voice message for them. So, okay. It matters. The biggest thing to know is that it matters that you follow up with them. So how to follow up, again, that 3, 10, 30-day guideline. Bam Fam, he says, this is book a meeting from a meeting. This is probably the easiest way to follow up with somebody because they're right there with you. Okay. Whether it's on Zoom and you can say, hey, let's set a meeting right now for the next time, to open your kit or to open your box, and let's set this up before we get off the phone so that we can, it's in my calendar and I won't forget. I mean, I use that a lot, you guys. If I don't write it down, I'm going to forget this. So let's set up our meeting right now so that I can have it on my calendar, and I make sure that this is it's already booked. Let's see. You can do that. You can do unboxings with them via Zoom, Facebook video, FaceTime, anything like that. So don't think you have to do it all in person. We can do really any kind of follow-up, an unboxing. If somebody's messaging you about a question, ask them, if you have time, you can even say, hey, do you want to jump on Zoom right now? Or do you want to FaceTime right now, so that you can answer the question, take care of the need. And again, they can see you and see that you are there for them and you're willing to help them. So we can send texts, private messages, care calls, happy monthly promos, newsletters, happy mail. Really, if you can automate the message, or automate the process, as much as possible, that will save you a ton of time. So pre-write like you're about to go inactive, or pre-write your welcome notes so that they are ready. And then you can just personalize it for that person, and set yourself up for success by making it easy to get in the mail and sent as quickly as possible. So this person says, I have a simple philosophy. I follow up as many times as necessary until I get a response. I don't care what the response is as long as I get one. And again, you guys, this is saying it's not about me, right? It's not my agenda. I'm just going to keep following up and keep sharing information, keep putting things out there, keep trying to connect until they say yes, no, maybe, leave me alone, right? Okay, so Go for No. This is a book that, these are just some resources. This isn't on there, but this book, Exactly What to Say by Phil Jones. This is an amazing book for those of us who are like, oh, I don't know what to say, or what if they do, whatever. Because it's a great way to take the pressure off of yourself and to put it in a way where it's like here's one. I'm guessing you haven't gotten around to it yet, but I'd love to hear some feedback on the lavender sample I sent you. So, or I'm guessing you haven't gotten around to it yet, but do you think you're gonna, when do you think you can read the book I sent you, or whatever it might be? When would be a good time, right? There's just little phrases that we can use that are key to getting responses. Okay. And so there's some really great resources here. And then you can see also on this slide. All right, teaching others to follow up. So this is we're almost done here. So focus on replicating results, not duplication. We want the people that we're teaching, just like, I can teach Skyla how to do it exactly like I do it. But Skyla and I have different personalities, and we relate to people. We write differently, and we talk differently. And so if I said, well, you have to, here's the script, you have to do it this way, it's not going to be authentic to her. So I want to give her the skills. I want to give her the script and say, you may change this however you like. And if this is something that you're really struggling with, check with your upline and say, do you have a script or something that I can look at so that I can, adjust it so that I can start doing my own follow-up. We would love for you all to do your own follow-up. The how is less important than the what. So just get it done and do it, let them know. And it doesn't really matter how we do it. It's more about just reaching out to people and just letting them know that we care. So if you're a green personality, you might like a spreadsheet. Others may prefer index cards or calendar reminders. Post-it notes. I have post-it notes all over my desk, which is not the best way, but it works sometimes as long as I can find them. You can share your templates for pre-written materials with your team so they don't have to reinvent the wheel. That's always a good thing. Model follow up with them. So let them see you follow up with them. So maybe you have them together, maybe you're on a Zoom call and you actually do a follow up with somebody. I think it's Todd Falcone. He does live contact calls with people, I don't know, like once a month. And he just, that's one of his Zooms that he does. And he just picks up the phone and he's doing prospecting calls. So if that's something that your team's really struggling with, maybe that would be a good way that you can help educate them and walk them through it. Or you could even do kind of a role play with them, so they can follow up with you. Keep it simple and sustainable. Remember, we're fitting this into the nuggets in our life, right? We don't have to go full out, this is all my own focus and I can't do anything else. But if you have 15 minutes while the hamburger's cooking for dinner, you could follow up with somebody. I encourage them when they feel rejected or ignored, tell follow-up success stories, and praise efforts, not results. Skyla, you got anything you want to add?
I don't have anything major. That's a pretty darn exhaustive list, but I would just say, look for any reason to communicate with people. Be creative. If somebody moves into a new home, it's a reason to connect. So I just always think, keep it real. And like Britta said earlier, keep it genuine, but don't always only be in it for the next sale. You got to be a kind human. So congratulations on a new baby. If somebody's dog dies, it's okay to reach out and acknowledge that, because that's what we do. So I'm just always looking for reasons to connect about life. And then when it's time to connect about Young Living, they love you because that's who you are.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay, so here's your action steps for next week. Make a list of the people that you need to contact. These could be prospects, they could be your customers or your brand partners. We want you to follow up this week with at least 5 of them and more if you can. And maybe you try a new approach. That would be really good. I am going to commit to you guys. I'm going to do the voice message on Project Broadcast this week, because that is a great, easy way to follow up with people. And then record your activity and your results. So, make sure that you're kind of keeping track of this to see what's working. If you follow up with 5 people via text and nobody responds, but then you decide to do, I'm going to do 5 voice messages and everybody responds, or vice versa, then make a note of that, because maybe that's how they want to communicate with you. Or you can look at, what time did I call them? What time was I texting? Was I texting at 10 o'clock at night? And I got a message back saying, don't contact me anymore. It could be, that could explain part of that. Or at 6 in the morning, I won't hear it. So, make sure that you're writing down how you're doing and what you're doing. The fortune, remember, the fortune is in the follow-up, and that is so incredibly true. So, all right, I'm going to stop my screen share, And we are going to open this up for questions. And actually, Danielle, if you have anything, whoops, that you would like, oh, for heaven's sake, to share with us, I would love for you to pitch in or to chime in right now before we open it for questions. How do you follow up, Danielle?
Yeah, I think that's a really, it's a really unique situation for every encounter that we have. Some people are going to be the in-person, pick up the phone, call, because you already have that connection. Others are going to be through a social media or a text. One thing that I posted in the chat, and I'll say it here for anybody that's not able to follow along with the chat, is I use my note section in my phone so much. So I will have, I put the letter A and then it'll say Young Living and whatever promos, business ideas, education. So it's right at the top of my notes. And inside of it is just a section for follow-up. And so I'll have queued responses ready to go that I can just copy and tailor as needed so that I don't feel like I have to spend a bunch of time reinventing the wheel to make that initial contact, because sometimes it is just having to take the 5 minutes. We get so distracted that, what do I want to say to this person? Where did we meet? How do I do this? What did we talk about? And I use the same thing, like a little sheet of ongoing conversations that I'm actually having, where I'll put little notes like, oh, I met Skyla at the dog park and she likes bloodhounds. So I might send her a picture of my bloodhound and say, hey, Wesson says hello. And we start something like that. But to have those resources easily accessible. Another great thing is Facebook is really great at reminding us of all the people in our lives who have birthdays. And so if you, instead of just posting on their wall, if you go into their messenger and send them a private message, just say, hey, I'm thinking of you. I really hope your day was great. Did you do anything fun today? And you just initiate a conversation, especially for people that you haven't been in contact with for a while. And you can genuinely say, hey, Facebook reminded me it was your birthday and I miss you. Or I love seeing you in my feed. I hope you and your kids are doing well. And you can genuinely make that connection. And it starts this conversation. What's new in your neck of the woods? And then when it comes back to you, you can turn that on like, oh, I'm doing really well. This is what I do. Here are my kids. I work for Young Living, or, however you start that conversation. But it takes your social media friendships to a whole new level and a whole new, you'll just have a whole new experience of communicating with people that you have these hundreds of contacts in your feed and you're like, where do I know them from? I do that all the time. How do I know this person? And I have to go kind of digging to figure out, where did we meet? Where was that connection made? And I don't even have a big following. So I know that we all have these people that we have lost contact with over time, and just little things like that. Noting, like Skyla said, noting if there was a death in the family, or if there was a big milestone that they were celebrating. Just be intentional, because starting that communication will hopefully lead to another opportunity where you get to follow up and have a conversation. I think what sets us apart is, in Young Living, we're very much relational, because we know that we need to figure out what their pain point is, and we want to be a help to them. And so the only way they're going to open up and have any vulnerability is if we're genuinely authentic with them as well. And so I think it's a really great way to take that awkwardness out of certain situations. So just some thoughts there.
I agree 100%. And the phone thing, I always forget about my notes on my phone. So that's a good idea. Yeah. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, you guys, how do you follow up? Let's have a discussion. And we can open this up to really anything. Questions you have on how to do it. If you have a situation where you're like, I'm not sure what to say or what to do now, successful follow-ups that you've had, just kind of it's open talk for another 20 minutes where we can just chat about whatever your struggles or successes are with follow-up.
This is Jan Reed.
Hi, Jan.
I had a question. I had a couple of gals at school that are interested in getting together to learn about essential oils. And I was thinking that I might just send them a Facebook request just to get to know them a little bit more before that time that they come. I'm just not sure how to word that.
It's like a friend request, you mean?
Yes.
Why not just hit the button and request to be their friend? Do you know them?
I could. I thought about asking their permission, saying, hey, I'd like to, friend you on Facebook. I don't know, should I just hit the friend button?
I think you could, personally, I think you could do either one, but if you're with them, you could say, hey, I'd love to connect with you on Facebook. And you could do it right then.
Yeah, I'm subbing, so I've left that district. I'm in a different district now. So I'm not with them.
I
So,
would hit the friend request button and then send a little message that says, hey, remember me? I loved connecting with you at the school. Hopefully we can connect in real life. And
Yeah,
stay
they've already-
connected over Facebook.
okay, because they've already said they want to connect. So
Yeah. So you take
Yeah.
that they've given you permission, you run with that and just, I
Mhm.
think, send them the request and a quick little PM that says, hey, just following up because I want to be connected. And even you can set a gathering. Hey, I sent a few of you from this district. Do you want to go to coffee? And then do a genuine, like have a little friendship budding, and then you can, go from there. And hopefully that will open up a deeper friendship, and then you can connect on a more personal level.
yeah, okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Who else has a question? Go ahead, Lisa. You guys can just unmute yourself and jump in.
I don't have a question, but my follow-up sucks big time. And just being honest. So I have actually been texting people this week and getting responses back. And I'm really working hard on trying to bring people into this Ninja Red Challenge. And I do have a girl that used to be a member. She has been inactive for several years, and she is interested in the products still, but just kind of hanging back. So I'm working with her, going back and forth on text messages and such. And, I feel good about it. But it's scary to type out that message and it's like, oh, are they just going to hate me? Or, but once I do it, and I'm always surprised at the response that I get back because it's never what I anticipate. So, we've got our stinking thinking going on, and we just need to get over it. So that's all.
Sounds like you've been working through some stories, Lisa. Awesome.
Yeah, I love that, Skylar, because I always think I don't have anything to lose because I didn't lose a friend because they weren't a friend beforehand. Maybe they were, but for follow-up, especially with the group of people that we are not super close with, we only have something to gain. And that's, even if it's not a customer, it's a new friendship and a new relationship that we can drip on slowly over the coming months and years. And I mean, we all have those people that we shared with right when we got involved with Young Living, and they just now are signing up all these years later, or you share all the time and they never respond until all of a sudden you see someone show up in your downline. Where did that person, what, she signed up? Or the people that linked arms with you in the beginning and they're jumping ship because it's not their season. There's no loss, there's so many people that are waiting for a new friendship right now, like truly waiting for community and hungry for it. So you have something to offer someone.
That's right.
Okay, I'm gonna ask this question because I don't mind reaching out to people, talking to people. I share with people. And in doing so, if I see a need, I say, hey, I don't know if this is right for you. Give it a try. See what you think. Let me know. Let's talk about this. Okay. Well, that kind of worked a little bit. Okay, well, we could try. There's this other, and we can try this and let me know, right? And that way we can try this before you invest. So that, and that's all fine and dandy. I had this gal that, we tried like 4 things. She said the last one, she said all 3 of them kind of worked. The last one worked wonderful. I said, great. We can put that on an order for you, and on a subscription, you can get it every month, 2 months, or 3 months if you'd like to. Ghost. Gone. But then a couple weeks later, her daughter's like, hey, can you send mom? No, I'm sorry. I'm all out of samples. How do you handle that?
I'd love to open this up to anybody who has some thoughts on this.
Penny, I want to know what your instinct says.
No, you don't.
Well, you have a lot of experience working with a lot of different kinds of people. And I think all of us need to hone in on our own intuition, because I do think you have a gut instinct.
Well, this person is a cousin.
Okay.
Okay. I love her dearly, but I think she's kind of flaky.
Okay.
And my gut instinct says, yeah, you want to use this stuff, but you want me to pay for it for you.
Yep.
Right. And I can't afford to do that.
Yep.
And so, I hated to tell her daughter, because I know there's not a single shred of doubt in my mind that it helped.
Right.
Not a single shred of doubt. And it's not even, look, peppermint's what, $24 for a 15 ml bottle? Lavender's what, $22 or $23? And believe it or not, those 2 combined actually worked for her.
Okay.
For the situation. And it worked beautiful. But I can't afford to supply her with mine. And it's not that it would really cost her that much every month. I have explained all the benefits and everything, and it's like, and I finally told her daughter, I said, I'm really sorry, but I said, I said, that has to be paid for. And I said, I don't mind giving a sample to see if something's going to work. But when we know it works, I said, then, I said, you guys can make this yourselves a lot cheaper. I said, because if I have to make it and send it to you, I said, then the price is going to be a retail price.
Sure. So let me ask you a question, and I want everybody to think about this. How many of you run a nonprofit charity business? Anybody? Is your Young Living a 501c3? It better not be. Okay, we are a for-profit business. I want you to sit up and act like you run $1 million company. You don't have to give this stuff away. Just because you have the golden egg doesn't mean that someone is going to appreciate it for what it is. And if they don't appreciate it, you don't have to give it to them. I think everybody comes around in their own time who is meant to receive these gifts. But we are not the keepers of that time. It's just our job to offer. They have to come to it on their own. So Penny, don't be apologetic and don't feel like you failed in follow-up. It may not be their time. And I would say you need to say 2 words. Who's next? That's it. Seriously, don't expend all of your energy there. And I know it's 10 times harder because it's family. Keep loving her. Keep loving her. But your energy for building your business needs to go elsewhere. And as she watches you, she may find out that, you know what, I think I could scrape together $50 for those oils I really need.
Oh, I even showed her the benefits of sharing with her friends.
Yep.
Right? Because she's on the west slope of the Rockies. People
Was
that
she-
I don't have access to, right?
Right.
She does.
Was she ready to receive that information?
And she's like, really, I could even pay for that with just by sharing. And I'm like, yeah, this is how it works.
Exactly.
And stuff. And she still just.
Okay, I think you know what to do.
Mhm. And you could also, save the samples for her birthday or a holiday or
Yes.
something and say, I know you love them. Here's a little gift because I know that, just keep dripping and keep putting it out there. Or, hey, if you'd like to host a class, if you enroll, you can commission on the things that and then if there's no response, that's fine. But you've done your due diligence and invite her to an online class, invite her to something where there's going to be a presentation and let her see what she's missing out on,
Will do.
All right,
See what
so
she says.
somebody else gonna jump in? We all have people like that want samples. And, I think when we continue to drip on people, first of all, with information, not necessarily with our oils, when we continue to provide information and we need to think about what will intrigue people to come to me, right? Why would they come to me versus Isa or Skyla or Danielle or Penny or whoever, right? What's different about me and the service and the information I can share with them. The other thing I really want you guys to think about, 2 things. One is, what story am I saying in my head? Okay, even as I'm sharing a sample with somebody or I'm following up, what am I saying in my head? Oh, they can't afford this. I think they're going to think I'm crazy. I know they're going to say no. I mean, whatever the story is up here, we need to become aware of that so that we can change it. Okay. And the only way that we change it is by being very conscious and making a choice to do something different. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, whatever we're putting out is what we get back. And I don't remember if I shared this last week or not, but I realized that I had been putting out, we had some issues with parenting, and everybody I was talking to I was saying, man, parenting is so hard. Like, this age is just so hard, right? And guess what I was getting back every day from my 16-year-old? Hard. And you guys, last weekend, I made a conscious choice right here to change my story. Okay. And I started saying, parenting is fun. It's such a joy to get to know this child, right? And some days I'm like, it's such a joy to get to know this child. But man, I'm saying it, and I've been telling my friends that, and I'm telling other people that, and I'm sharing that kind of information, and I'm putting that energy out there about how much fun this is, and how much I'm enjoying parenting. And we had the best weekend. And, like she and I even laughed. I made her go volunteer with me, and we laughed the whole way there over just dumb things that were happening in the car, right? A week ago, we would have been, I can't believe you're making me do this. So think about that as you're sharing stuff with your friends, or as you're posting on social media, or as you're, following up and whatever it is that you're doing. Think about, what do I want to put out there? What am I wanting back? Maybe that's what you think about. What do I want to receive from this post? What do I want to receive from this person? I would like just to have kindness right now. I would like to be heard. I would like to have understanding. Yes, we all want sales, but you know what? That should not be our focus. When our focus is truly to connect in whatever way, whether it's sharing or following up, and that's what we put out there, that will come back 100% of the time. Well, 95% of the time. Okay. Because you're going to run into those people that are just jerks. But 95% of the time, I believe that we are going to get back what we're putting out there, especially if we're doing it consistently. Now, the first few times, it might be like this, right? You're like, this isn't working. But the more you do it and the more you put it out there, it will come back. So I hope that that's encouraging to you. And if you're really struggling with that, then I would love to talk with you, or I know Skylar or Danielle or whoever, that you are working with. Bring that up and say, help me walk through this, and help me change this story right here. Okay. Because that is truly when the success happens, is when we start putting different things out, we will get different things back. All right, Danielle we just got permission, you guys. We didn't think we could announce this till tomorrow. And so I said, Danielle, you get to announce this. So this is big, big, big news. And get ready to hoot and holler. And I want to see, like, everybody can do this. So Danielle, go ahead.
Yes, I am changing my screen view because I want to see everybody, as many reactions as I can. So I'm putting everybody on gallery. Who has been around long enough to remember Silver and Six? Anyone? Who has witnessed the power of that kit? I was trying to reach around and see if I had my kit or anything accessible from that kit, just to show you if Skylar or Britta, if you have yours and you want. I'm thinking that Skylar maybe ran off to go get hers. Yes, yay. Mine is actually, I know where it is now. I put it in a drawer. I pulled the insert out and put that foam block in a drawer in my bathroom where I use it most often. But I had another piece of that I was hoping to show you. So starting tomorrow, anyone in Young Living that is reaching for the rank of executive or silver will be invited to participate in a Rise to Rank challenge that will result in a select 30, a special, exclusive, customizable, or specially customized select 30 oil collection and a diffuser. And we're bringing back the Silver and Six kit, even better than it was before, with a retail value of $6,000 of oils and an Aria diffuser. And so anyone, whatever your rank is tonight, whether you've hit the rank in the past, whether you've been a platinum leader and just fallen back. I mean, anybody can earn these. Whatever your rank is tonight will determine your qualification for whether or not you can participate in this. So if you are a senior star or below, everyone gets to run for not just one, you can earn both. You can hit executive and silver between now and convention, now and the end of June, and you will be able to earn both of these kits. The kits are gorgeous. They have special bags. They have special diffusers. Everything is going to be tailored specifically for this promotion. And we are so excited. When they pulled back on this promotion years ago, I really do believe that the field felt that, because there was something about the momentum that putting over 120 oils, the kit's going to have 3 extra oils, so it's going to be 123 oils. We've heard discussion, they're still in the process of doing some inventory. We've heard discussion that they'll be pulling the cheaper vitality oils from the kit and replacing them with more expensive oils, provided that stock and availability. But this kit, I'm telling you, we're talking, I think, wasn't it Select 30 was a $2,500 value, and the Aroma Complete kit, the Premier Aroma Collection, was going to be a nearly $6,000 value. So it is based on your rank this evening at midnight, whatever rank you are this evening at midnight. Tomorrow morning, you start clean and you can earn your Select 30 in a beautiful, everybody, we're all going to be posting these things in our kit, or in our groups this evening. So watch for the pictures. It is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Let me see if I can attempt to pull up a picture and show you on the screen, because it really is just beautiful. This, I don't know if this is even going to work because of the lighting. Here is the Select 30 in a beautiful leather case. And these are oils that are not available to purchase in the standard Select 30 case, and your diffuser. And then your Aroma Complete in a new and improved leather bag, and the Aria diffuser. So, this is so exciting. My husband, we have been building him a leg the past, very, very slowly, the past year and a half. And he's like, well, I guess I'm going to go for executive and silver now. You sit there and you kick yourself because, man, we didn't grow his leg as fast as we grew my leg, or I haven't been as diligent. And now he's excited. He wants to earn this, and he wants to build and have that accomplishment. And so it's really exciting. I'm going to try to work on my oldest daughter, who has just kind of been resistant, but that kind of swag and that kind of motivation, even to get to executive by June. I mean, those are big, huge goals. And when you build with such intention and you have a goal to work towards, there's just something that helps you shift your mindset. And really, if you could see the pictures, I think someone's working on putting a slideshow, but several of us diamonds shared the pictures of us getting our kits years ago. And I think they're going to try to put it in a slideshow so that you can see how many of us actually earned those kits. And when we do a lot of compensation plan education or business education, we forget that the past several years, if you look at the compensation plan and the income disclosure statement, only 8% of the people in our organizations will choose to build a business to silver and above, right? But if we start incentivizing these lower ranks, and these ranks that are so foundational, that I think that number is going to increase dramatically, because there's just an excitement over something. There's no such thing as a free lunch, but there's lots of free gifts. And so when the gifts come, it's exciting. There's so much momentum that's created with our communities. And I think this is really, really, really great. Executive is attainable by every single person in our organization. Every single one of us can hit executive, and February to June is the perfect amount of time to do that. And so I know that if y'all hunker down and you are intentional with sharing, intentional with follow-up, if you start putting yourselves out there, I would love to see every single one of you in here that's eligible for that gift. I would love to see you taking a picture and sharing with us in June that you have earned these gifts. So however we can support you, however we can link arms with you to help do that, it's not coincidental that we already had this group going, and that we have already kind of pivoted how we're teaching and sharing, and who we're teaching and sharing with. So it is so exciting. And I hope that this just gives you all just confirmation that you're in the right place at the right time, and you are developing your gifts and talents now, preparing for this challenge, because it's so exciting. I'll share a little bit really quickly. We're going to share more on the Ningxia Underground call this week, but when I got my Silver and Six kit, my husband was in the ICU, and he had just undergone major cardiac surgery, and which put him into kidney failure. And he was young, he was 42. So he was in the ICU, and my son the week before had been sick all week, and we were getting all kinds of lab work because he'd been in and out of the hospital for a month. And the morning that we brought my husband home, I sat down with my Zyto scanner, and we're doing all the things, mapping out all the ways that we're going to keep him healthy and hopefully keep him off all the laundry list of medications that he went on overnight. And we're sitting at the dining room table, and FedEx rings the doorbell, and there's the Silver and Six kit. And we sat there, and while I was scanning him and making out a wellness calendar, he was literally able to pull out every oil that he scanned for that we didn't already have because we hadn't been Young Living members that long. And so the timing of these things, I always tell people that you don't know why you're in this room right now. You don't know why you're learning the things that you're learning right now. It might seem trivial. You might not have blood pressure issues. You might not have hormone issues. You might not have a kid in your life that needs help with ear infections, but you might at some point have someone come into your life, or you might have a need. And when that need comes up, it's almost too late because you're too overwhelmed to deal with all the things and wonder about treatment or options, or do I have confidence in this product at all? God knew exactly when we needed that kit. He knew exactly how it had to come, exactly the day it was going to come. And I had no clue. None of this was on my radar a year before. And my husband was healthy and my son was healthy. And so as we're getting a phone call saying he needs to go to oncology and you just got home from the ICU, it was a really big deal. And that kit was pivotal because my husband was not on any, he had 10 different medications he came home with. He only took a handful of them and was only on them for a month. And my son has never had a drop of chemotherapy or an ounce of radiation put into his body. And it's all truly because for such a time as this, something was put in front of me. I felt that I couldn't be quiet about what the power of the product. I could not keep my mouth shut. And so it seems trivial to like go for a prize, and I'm going to share for a prize, but it's so much bigger than that, you guys. It's so much bigger than that. And so I hope that you each have that experience of being able to label all those oils and have oils that you never would have purchased at this stage in your Young Living business. So I'm really excited. Look for all of the details in our Facebook groups tonight and tomorrow. And there's one more piece of this puzzle that we're not sharing with you tonight, but tomorrow you'll notice a really fun and special promo in our February monthly promo. So we are going to throw that little teaser out there, but don't think that you have it all because tomorrow is going to really make all of this just come together and see how Young Living is for us. They're listening to us, they see the work that we're doing, and they want to continue to support our growth. So I hope it was worth it to stay on a little bit longer. And if anybody has any questions or anything, feel free to shoot us messages and we can continue this conversation in our Marco Polo group. But I'm really excited for all of you.
Awesome. Danielle, thank you. Everybody give her the loudest air clap you've ever given her. That is so fun. We kind of lost our minds when we heard this announcement the first time, and it gave the entire room chills because we knew what it was going to do. And I fully believe that we do. So I asked if you wanted to know my tip, and Danielle, she pretty much gave it away when she said, don't make it about you. Make it about your team. And this is my tip. How many of you have also been around long enough to remember the concept of the Star Factory? If you're on my team or Britta's, you probably are familiar with this, and you might know the concept by another name. But essentially what I want you to do tonight, and I do not want you to waste a minute, go open your downline, and I want you to look for all the people that are already on Subscribe to Save, that are already loving the products, but they have not yet hit the rank of star. And I want you to make it your business to pour into them. And all of the belief that you're hearing from Danielle and Britta and I, we're literally here to be your professional cheerleaders, coaches, mentors, because we know you can do this. And now here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I want you to take all of that energy and I want you to pour that into your team. For your team, you are the head coach. You are the head cheerleader. And you have to convince every member that has ever joined you on this journey that you believe in them more than they believe in themselves. And if you don't yet, then you get out some oils and you douse your head in a whole bottle of oil until you believe that you know something is powerful enough that you can convince them that they can do anything they want. So you're going to help those people become stars. And this Young Living math is my favorite kind of math in the entire world. So you figure out, each of your organizations looks unique, but I want you to map it out tonight. I don't care if you have to stay up a little past your bedtime. You map it out and you figure out, what do I need to get to either executive or to silver, or what do I need to do to get my team to executive or to silver? And then you do the math and you figure out, how many stars does that equal? So if you need to raise a leg by, let's say you need to raise a leg by 2,000 OGV, show me with your hand, how many stars is that? Come on, Britta. No, Britta's got it right. Isa, I'm sorry. I was looking at Isa. I'm sorry. My math girl puts up 10 fingers. Okay, so it takes 500 OGV to be a star, right? So if I need to raise 2,000, I only have to have, Britta did get it right. Sorry, everybody cancel that. You need 4 stars in that leg. So then you just get super specific and you figure out, who are those 4 going to be? And then you write their names on the windshield of your car and you pray for them every day while you're driving, and you call them every night and you're like, I can't believe you're going to be a star this month. And you figure it out. You guys, you can help them become a star in a day. One class. I'm not even like blowing smoke. That's a true story. It's just numbers. Okay. So do that for executive, do that for silver. And what the magic of this is that when you help enough people become star, you are going to become whatever it is that you want it to be. But if you go out tomorrow and you're like, I need to be silver, I want an Oreo, which I know you do, and that's okay. But if that's the energy you put out in the world, they're like, good luck. But if it's about, I want you to win this or become this or solve this toe fungus or whatever, make it about them. I love using toe fungus for an example, by the way. I think you should do that in your class all the time because it breaks the ice and people are expecting you to be serious. And when you say toe fungus, they're like, really? And I'm like, I actually have an oil for that. It's just more fun. Okay, so that's my secret. Who can help somebody hit star? Anybody? You know what to do? Right on.
And one
We'll do
more
it.
thing.
Yes.
I want to speak this because Bethany was so good about sharing this with us that week at the kickoff. You are the dream team. Everybody in this room right now, you are the dream team. You are the people that are showing up, and someone is waiting for you, and you are world changers in your, and I don't mean that in a cliche, cheesy kind of way. you are the people that are wanting to and willing to do the work to help other people. And so throw it out there right now. Ask people what their wellness goals are. Sit on the phone with them and say, hey, let's map out your next 3 months of subscribe to save orders. Let's get you healthy. Let's figure out what your pain points are and how we can help you. You can do this, and you showing up in here, the 30, 40 plus people that we've had, you are the dream team because you're here, you're positioning yourself ready to do the work and ready to help people. It is bigger than just a golden spoon of something for them to swallow every day. We are tailoring our products to help change someone's lives. And I think I'll just go ahead and say it even without talking to Skyla and Britta. If this call doubles between now and next week, we will not complain. It's not too late to continue to add more people into this call. So if you link arms with somebody this next week and you invite them to come join us, they don't have to commit to anything crazy. They can just come and see and feel the energy and the excitement that we have in sharing. And I really hope that each one of you at some point between now and the end of the 6 weeks will feel confident enough to unmute yourself and say something, because I'm sure there's something that you have to say that somebody else needs to hear. So really think about and just be intentional about what you're doing and how you can add value to your community these next couple of days. And I know that the momentum between now and June is just going to be through the roof, and we're excited about it. And genuinely, you know, if Young Living crashed tomorrow, I would truly be in a panic, not because of a paycheck, not because of a business model, anything like that, because I would say, how and where do I get what I need to keep my family as healthy as we've been? It has been years since we have been needing the care of major medical and shifting our focus from outside of being a slave to modern medicine and insurance companies and all these things. And we can do better. And it starts with us. And I think that this is, I just think that it's going to be so good and so life-changing on so many levels. 2022 is going to be a really good year, guys. Happy New Year, because tomorrow's officially my new year.
That's right. And remember, last week we said we wanted you to be planning classes or planning get-togethers, right? Between the 1st of February through the 7th, through next Monday night, and all the classes that you guys do, right? All the sharing that you do with at least 2 people, because one person's a one-on-one, so you have to have at least 2 people, ideally prospects. Then we're going to take the total, and we're going to give away product credits. So if you want to be in on that, if you want to potentially win, you need to, this is the time. This is the time to fill your calendar, to get in front of people, to share, and then to follow up, which we now have talked about. So get out there, get it done, invite people to join us, because it is so much more fun when you have a team, and go out and change the world. We believe in you, and 100% each one of you, no matter where you're starting tonight or tomorrow morning, each one of you can achieve this. I 100% believe it, because we've done it. There are people today doing it. So don't think, oh, well, you did it 10 years ago. People today are doing this, okay? I have a Mennonite team that's doing it off social media. They are doing this. So we don't want excuses. We don't want justifications. We all got them, right? We want action, and we want to celebrate your wins. So go out, get it done. Come back next week, tell us how many you did, and get ready to maybe win. So thanks for joining us tonight.